50, he move a little different. You know, even though he forgives, he don't forget. And I'm talking about, I really fucked up G-Unit Clothing, the record company, the whole LA, all around the Super Bowl, and I don't get the call. So
how'd you feel?
I was hurt by that.
Thank you.
It's wild how fast loyalty fades in the rap game. 1 minute, you're riding together under the same label, making classics. Next thing you know, you're trading shots online like it's a war zone. That's exactly what's been going down between the Game and 50 Cent.
I don't hear people say, you're really here because of 50 Cent. Like, we know you because of 50 Cent. So how are you so comfortable with disrespecting 50 Cent?
Again, even after years of supposed peace, these two just can't seem to stay cool. Things really took a turn during the 2022 Super Bowl halftime show, a legendary moment for hip-hop, except for the Game, it felt more like a slap in the face. The show was packed with West Coast legends, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick, and even 50 Cent, but no invite for the Game in his own backyard. That stung hard. From his side, it looked like politics, favoritism, and old grudges were playing out on the biggest stage in the world. While folks were hyped about Dre's influence and how far West Coast music had come, the Game was in the shadows, steaming. He felt left out of something he helped build, and it showed.
We on the West Coast are the only that have this crab in the barrel mentality where we want to keep down or don't do things based on what somebody else might think it looks like.
It wasn't just about pride. This was about respect, history, and recognition. The Game was born and raised in Compton, right where that Super Bowl went down. So when New York's 50 Cent and even Detroit's Eminem got the call, but he didn't, he saw that as a betrayal, especially coming from Dre, who was supposed to be his day one. Game didn't keep quiet either. He reposted comments from folks like King Trell, who said flat out that Game should have been on stage. Game added his own feelings, calling the whole thing brazy for real. In his eyes, this wasn't about who's hot or not. It was Dre picking people who follow protocol and don't rock the boat. That was never the Game. He's always been the loud one, the disruptor, and maybe that's why he got sidelined. But what really reignited the beef wasn't just the performance. It was 50 Cent's reaction afterwards. When the Super Bowl show won an Emmy, 50 was quick to post about his win on Instagram, and just hours later, he threw a clear shot at Game. He posted an old pic of the Game with the shady caption, "No caption needed." That was the spark. From there, things blew up fast. 50 didn't stop at one post. He went on Twitter, clowning the Game's new album Drillmatic for only pushing around 18,000 first-week sales. He tweeted, "If you need someone to talk to, I'm here for you. LOL petty, yes. Effective, also yes." And even though the Game's numbers were a bit higher than 18,000, that didn't matter. The point was clear. 50 was out to embarrass him. And Game, he wasn't gonna let that slide. He fired back using the same no caption needed move with a pic of 50, but added some spice. "Spicy boy, your eyebrow doing LOL." It got even more personal when the Game brought up 50's estranged son, telling him to text your oldest son and tell him you love him. That hit way below the belt. In rap, there's jabs and jokes, but bringing family into the beef, that's a whole new level of disrespect. From the outside, it looked like Game was spiraling. Fans started calling him out for doing anything to stay relevant. Some said he was just bitter, jealous, or chasing clout, but others felt like he had a real point, just the wrong way of expressing it. Once the Game started swinging, he didn't stop. He turned his social media into a full-on battleground, and at that point, it wasn't even just about the Super Bowl anymore. It became personal, raw, and borderline out of control. He started pulling receipts, calling out industry folks, throwing jabs at Dre, 50, Eminem, even Beyonce by association through Jay-Z. And just like that, a rapper who once stood as a West Coast titan started looking more like a man on a mission to burn every bridge he ever crossed. When he dropped his album Drillmatic, he made sure the world knew he was out for war. A whole 10-minute diss track called The Black Slim Shady, targeting Eminem, wasn't just a lyrical exercise, it was a direct shot at Dre's circle. That was a bold move considering Dre was the one who helped launch Game's career in the first place. But that's what made the situation even more complex. Game felt betrayed, cut off, and disrespected. He believed Dre had picked sides long ago, and now that side was shining under Super Bowl lights while he stood in the cold. But the internet don't miss a beat, and fans were quick to call Game out. Some reminded him of his past glory days, when he came in under G Unit in 2003 and flipped the whole scene with the documentary. Back then, he was seen as 50's protege, the next up, unstoppable. But after things went south between him and 50, their beef dominated headlines for 12 years straight. They traded bar after bar, shot after shot, and even when things cooled down around 2016, everyone knew it was shaky peace at best. Game tried to make it seem like they squashed it, even said in a club that he was ready to move on and forget the past. But behind closed doors, resentment never left. 50 Cent always moved like a businessman, slick, calculated, and a little bit petty. Game, on the other hand, wears his heart on his sleeve, and when he feels slighted, he lets the whole world know. So when 50 posted that Emmy flex and clowned his album sales, Game snapped. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about being publicly humiliated by someone he once called bro. Now 50 Cent ain't no stranger to beef. He built half his brand on conflict. From Ja Rule to Rick Ross to even his own son, 50 never backs down when he smells blood. So when Game threw that jab about his kid, telling him to show love to his own child, that wasn't just rap antics. That was real-life beef boiling over. And 50, he responded with that classic dry humor and threat combo. "Oh no, you're making me nervous now. You know it's not safe around me when I'm nervous." That line hit different. It's how 50 moves. He don't yell, he don't scream. He just throws a line out there, and you know he's dead serious. Suddenly, this wasn't just online trolling. It started sounding like something that could turn physical. Clubs, tweets, stories, captions, everything became a weapon. Game started doing club shoutouts, calling 50 out directly on stage in front of massive crowds. One moment he was saying, "We're cool," and the next he's saying, "It's going down." That back and forth energy had the streets buzzing and fans wondering if this was a marketing stunt or something more dangerous. Now here's the part that got everyone doing double takes. Was this really about music, or was it something deeper? The Game isn't just some random artist crying for attention. He's got legit talent. Nobody denies he can wrap circles around a lot of folks in the game. But when your name starts popping up more for internet antics than for your bars, people start questioning your moves. One fan posted, "Funny how Game used to be that next big thing when he was coming at G Unit. Now it's just weird watching him swing wild like this for clicks." That hit hard because it's true. There was a time when Game was dropping classics, making major noise, and holding down the West Coast. Now it's looking like every few months he has to stir the pot just to stay in the convo. Even though Drillmatic had some real heat on it, all that was overshadowed by the drama he kept fueling online. Instead of letting the music talk, he let the disses, the jabs, and the trolling take the spotlight, and that's where the tide started turning against him. What really messes with Game's image is that he's never known how to pick a side and stick with it. One day, he's saluting Dr. Dre, posting about how much Dre did for his life. Next day, he's dropping tracks dissing him, calling out the whole Super Bowl lineup, and pushing narratives about being snubbed. It's that switch-up energy that's making fans tired. People respect loyalty, consistency, and especially in hip-hop, staying solid means everything. Meanwhile, 50 Cent continues playing chess. He stays 3 steps ahead, leveraging platforms like Instagram and Twitter to clown people, drop new projects, plug his shows, and keep the spotlight without breaking a sweat. That's what makes him dangerous. He's part troll, part mogul, and all business. The Game's emotional approach just doesn't hit the same. And the way 50 casually removed one of his clowning posts right after posting it, that's power. He can throw shade, dip out, and still keep the upper hand. Meanwhile, Game is left ranting online and catching strays from his own fans. So where do we go from here? Is this beef officially back on? Or is this just 2 grown men reliving old grudges because the music ain't hitting like it used to? Right now, it looks like the Game's trying to turn controversy into momentum. But 50 ain't the one to play with like that. And if this escalates any further, don't be surprised if we hear a new diss track drop out of nowhere. Or worse, this could spill over into something serious. But the truth is, the only one who really loses in the long run is the Game. He's got the skills, he's got the catalog, but he keeps choosing chaos over legacy. If he focused half as much energy on the music as he does on calling folks out, he'd already be back at the top of the conversation, without needing 50's name to get there. Right now, though, it's all up in the air. And who knows what's next? Maybe a public reunion, maybe another diss, or maybe just more memes. Let us know what you think. Was 50 just clowning, or was he sending a real warning? Is game reaching, or just trying to claim the respect he feels he deserves? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Smash that like button if you're still rocking with West Coast rap. Share this video with your people, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the drama. Peace out.